Welcome back. A government consultation on whether to ban the import and export of animal hunting trophies closes tonight. MPs from all 9 parliamentary parties have signed a letter supporting the ban, while an opinion poll suggests it is also supported by the vast majority of voters. Campaigners say it would send a clear message to the world if a ban was brought in. We're joined from North London now by the explorer and campaigner Sir Ranulph Fiennes and the founder of the campaign to ban trophy hunting, Eduardo Goncalves. Thanks very much for joining us. Sir Ranulph, just explain why you're backing this ban.
I'm backing the ban, having been brought up in South Africa and having spent a lot of time on ice floes in the Arctic, floating in polar bear country. And I just hate it when people who enjoy killing wild animals, and the bigger the trophies, the better, and then they bring them back legally into the United Kingdom and stick them on their house walls to show how clever they have been, and not admitting that in most cases nowadays they are killing them in places like South Africa, unfortunately, where they come to be bred on farms, and in many cases, to make sure that the brave hunter does kill them, they had their legs crushed in the same way as badger baiting have their teeth crunched when they're about to fight dogs. Humans who enjoy killing animals for cruelty, for their vanity, that's what I'm against.
OK, and Eduardo, I mean, there is a point, though, that these conservation scientists, or many of them, say that the income from trophy hunting does help to protect these targeted species.
There's essentially 3 things to remember about trophy hunting. The first is that it's very cruel. You have thousands of lions, tigers, leopards in cages waiting to be shot. The second is that it's utterly unnecessary. These are animals that are being killed purely for entertainment and for souvenirs. And the third point is that it is devastating for wildlife. Thousands of animals are being killed every year. Many of them are endangered. There's now more elephants being shot by hunters every year than are being born. This is a conservation crisis.
Yeah, Sir Ranulph, I mean, do you accept the argument at all that it helps conserve the land the species inhabit? The argument being that otherwise that land may be used for agriculture or, even worse, development, that it's very important income for conservation.
That is completely and utterly untrue, and all the looks at this have pointed out the exact opposite, which is you employ more people in the localities where this is happening through tourists with people who want to go and film wild animals in those areas than the number of people locally who are employed by having these cruelty farms.
And indeed, nature tourism generates far more money, both for conservation but also for anti-poaching efforts. At the end of the day, this is something that people right across the country, across every political party, are strongly behind. They want to see trophy hunting ended. This is the 21st century. We can't be a civilised nation where we still allow this to happen. We say that we're a nation of animal lovers. We now have a chance to prove it.
Yeah, and the Dutch, the French, the Australians have banned the importing into their countries of trophies. Boris has promised that he will do so, and fingers crossed that he does.
Yeah, OK. And Sir Ranulph, I mean, in Tanzania, I just want to make this point. In Tanzania, there is I think it's 140,000 square kilometre game reserve that's funded, according to the country director for conservation, solely by safari hunting. He says he's not pro or anti-hunting, but he says there's no other way to finance that game reserve.
Eduardo would answer that. Well, I can tell you that 26% of Tanzania is covered by hunting concessions, and they generate just 0.03% of the country's GDP. It is not financing conservation. If you look right around Africa, in fact, when they've stopped trophy hunting, conservation has improved. So, for example, when trophy hunting was stopped of lions in Zambia and in Zimbabwe, there was actually more money for nature tourism and lion populations recovered. The same happened in Botswana when they stopped elephant hunting there some years ago. The fact of the matter is sometimes 40 times as much money can be generated through nature tourism rather than trophy hunting for conservation.
And Sir Ranulph, what do you feel when you see these pictures that are posted quite often on, social media of these hunters posing with their trophies? I mean, Donald Trump's son does it. Other famous people do it. What do you think when you see those things, Sir Ranulph?
Well, the very fact that Donald Trump does it, it speaks for itself. But basically, I'm also realizing that they compete, the hunters, the vain hunters, that the bigger the lion, the better. So they are actually destroying those few big males, and genetically that's making it difficult for the interbreeding that's going on to carry on being strong, which they need to be because of the way the climate's going.
We have just 3,600 adult male lions left in the wild. And scientists have said that if we lose just 5% of those, that could actually push lions over the brink. We may not be able to recover them. In other words, we might soon witness the first extinction of a big cat since prehistoric times.
All right, Eduardo Goncalves, thank you very much indeed. And Sir Ranulph Fiennes, appreciate your time too. Thank you very much indeed.